You know that feeling. It is 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. You are laying in bed. You are scrolling through your phone. Maybe you are checking your banking app real quick, just to see what is left after the bills hit. And you feel that little knot in your stomach. It is not panic, exactly. It is not like you are broke or about to lose your house. But there is this quiet, nagging sense that you are running on a treadmill. You are working harder than you ever have in your life. You are making more money than you did in your 20s. And yet, you do not really feel much heavier in your wallet. You feel like you are just treading water. And then you see someone else on Instagram, or maybe a friend from college buys a second home, or posts a photo from a first-class trip to Tokyo. And you think, what am I doing wrong? I am doing everything right. I have the job. I pay my taxes. Why does my financial life feel so fragile? It is a weird transition, is not it? Your 20s are mostly about survival and figuring out who you are, but somewhere in your 30s, the stakes change. The margin for error gets smaller. The time horizon gets shorter. And honestly, the financial moves that worked for you at 24, or the mistakes you could afford to make then, can actually start to become dangerous liabilities once you hit your 30s. My name is Bob, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, financial psychology, and why some people seem to effortlessly build wealth while others stay stuck in the same financial patterns for decades. I have spent years looking at the data, reading the studies, and talking to people about their relationship with money. And there is one thing that becomes incredibly clear the moment you turn 30. The game changes, and if you keep playing by the old rules, you are going to lose. Today, we are going to talk about the specific things you need to stop doing with your money right now. Not vague advice like save more or spend less, but actual behavioral shifts, psychological traps, and bad habits that might be silently draining your bank account and your future. We are going to dig into why your 30s are the make or break decade for wealth building. And if you can get these 5 or 6 things right, you are going to set yourself up for a life where money is not a source of stress, but a tool for freedom. So, grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let us talk about it. The first thing you absolutely have to stop doing after 30 is waiting for the right time to start investing seriously. I hear this all the time. I hear it from friends. I see it in comments. I see it in my email inbox. It goes something like this: Bob, I want to start investing. I really do, but I just need to pay off this last bit of credit card debt first, or I am waiting for the market to crash, or I am waiting until I hit $40,000 in savings so I feel safe. Here is the brutal, honest truth that nobody likes to admit. There is no right time. There is no magical moment where the clouds part. The money fairy taps you on the shoulder and says, okay, you are ready. The risk is gone. Go forth and multiply your wealth. That moment does not exist. In your 20s, you kind of had a pass. You were broke. You were entry level. You were trying to find an apartment that did not have mold in the bathroom. You could say, I will start later, but in your 30s, later starts to get really expensive. Let me explain why this is so critical. And it is not just about the money. It is about the math of time. Imagine two people. Let us call them Sarah and Mike. They both want to retire comfortably. Sarah starts investing $500 a month at age 25. She does this for 10 years. She puts in $60,000 total. Then, at age 35, she stops. She just leaves the money there to grow. She does not add another dime. Mike, on the other hand, waits. He spends his 20s paying off student loans, traveling, enjoying life. At age 35, he decides he needs to get serious. He starts investing $500 a month, and he keeps doing it every single month until he retires at age 65. He puts in $180,000 of his own money, 3 times what Sarah put in. Guess who has more money at retirement? It is Sarah. And it is not even close. Because of the magic of compound interest, essentially interest earning interest on top of interest, Sarah's money had 30 years to snowball. Mike's money only had 30 years. but he kept adding principal, yet he never caught up to her head start. When you are in your 30s, you are in this weird golden zone. You are young enough that time is still your greatest asset, but you are old enough that you actually have some income to deploy. If you are waiting for the perfect time, or until you feel comfortable, you are literally burning free money, and I get it. The market is scary. You look at the news, and you see red arrows and crashes and people yelling about recession. But here is the perspective shift you need. The biggest risk you face right now is not a market crash. The biggest risk you face is market indifference. While you sit on the sidelines, you stop waiting for the fear to go away. The fear never goes away. You invest anyway. You automate it, so you do not even have to think about it. If your employer offers a 401k match and you are not taking it, you are literally turning down a raise. Stop doing that today. Go to HR, fill out the form, get the match. That is a 100% return on your investment instantly. You will never find that anywhere else. So, point 1, stop waiting. Start now, even if it is small, even if it is $50 a month. Just start the engine. Moving on to the second thing you need to stop doing. And this one is going to sting a little bit, because it hits close to home for a lot of us, myself included. You need to stop letting your lifestyle inflate faster than your income. This is the silent killer of wealth. It is the trap that is so easy to fall into, because it feels like success. You get a promotion at work. You go from making, say, $60,000 a year to $75,000. That is a huge win. You should celebrate. But what happens? You think, okay, I can finally upgrade that car I have been driving since college, or I can move out of that cramped apartment into a place with a view. And that is fine. You should enjoy your life. But the problem is, it does not stop there. The new car needs a higher insurance payment. The new apartment is nicer, so you buy nicer furniture to match it. You start ordering DoorDash more because you are working late hours in that new higher stress job. Before you know it, you are making $15,000 more a year, but your bank account looks exactly the same at the end of the month. You are just running a more expensive life. I call this the golden handcuffs. You feel like you are doing better because your stuff is better, but financially, you are just as fragile as you were when you were broke. If you lose that job, the whole house of cards collapses in 2 months because your fixed expenses have ballooned. In your 30s, you have to flip the script. Instead of asking, how much can I afford to spend with this new raise? You need to ask, how much of this raise can I keep? There is a concept called reverse lifestyle creep, and it is the secret weapon of the wealthy. When your income goes up, you try to keep your lifestyle exactly where it is for as long as possible. You take the difference, the gap between your old salary and your new one, and you funnel that straight into investments or savings. I know, that sounds boring. It sounds like I am telling you to live like a monk. But honestly, it is not about deprivation. It is about freedom. Think about it this way. Every dollar you spend on a nicer car today is a dollar that is not working for you for the next 30 years. That dollar, invested, could have become $10 or $20. So when you buy that flashy SUV, you are not just spending $40,000. You are spending the $400,000 that money could have been worth at retirement. Is the car worth $400,000? Probably not. You have to start seeing purchases, not just in terms of the price tag, but in terms of the opportunity cost. What else could that money do for you? This is the shift that happens in your 30s. You move from being a consumer to being an owner. You stop trying to look rich to people you do not even like, and you start trying to be rich to yourself. So, take a hard look at your recurring monthly expenses, the subscriptions, the gym membership you do not use, the car payment that takes a huge chunk out of your check. This is the decade to simplify. Keep your old car a little longer. Cook at home a little more. It does not make you cheap. It makes you strategic. Which brings me to point number 3. And this is a big one regarding your psychology and social circle. You have to stop comparing your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. This is especially toxic in your 30s. In your 20s, everyone is messy. Nobody has any money, so you are all in the same boat. But in your 30s, the divide starts to show. Some people start getting lucky breaks, or maybe they had help from family, or maybe they are just deep in debt pretending to be rich. Social media is the worst for this. You open an app and you see someone your age taking a sabbatical in Bali, or renovating a kitchen that looks like it belongs in a magazine. And instantly, that ugly little voice in your head says, "Why not me? What am I doing wrong?" Here is the reality that you need to tattoo on your brain. You are comparing your reality to a curated fiction. You do not see their credit card bill. You do not see the stress they feel when they lay in bed at night. You do not see the parental loan they took out to buy that house. You only see the finished product, the shiny exterior.